One. Hey guys, what's happening? We're now live. This is Beat The Line broadcast, episode 25, UFC Vegas 89. Rose Namajunas versus Amanda Ribas. I'm your host, Picks with Pegasus. Javi's going to be here eventually. He's out to dinner. I'm obviously here with Key 3 Picks and our special guest, Mick Picks. What's happening, guys?
Not much.
Good.
Feeling good about this card.
Is everyone excited for another card that's, subpar for the next week or two, and then we get UFC 300?
I think it's a good betting card.
It was a good betting card. I agree. I think
It is
next one.
It is because too, like we haven't had a card like this. Like the biggest favorite's only minus 200 or they're so about,
Yeah.
So we got 14 fights, and I feel that you can find a spot on all these matchups here.
Definitely, but sometimes it's a little scary when they're that close because that means they're just coin flip fights, kind of. Someone may not look as wide as they're supposed to be, or some will get wider. But yeah, I mean, next card's okay. I'm gonna be there in Atlantic City, so I'm going to that one.
Nice.
And then after that, 300. Did you guys see the logo they dropped for 300, or like the poster?
That's got to be a joke.
I don't know.
You know how much money they're putting in? Do you guys see the commercial promo they did for that? That was pretty sick.
No, where was that posted?
It was during the event, one of the events, I think last Saturday and the previous Saturday. It was like on TV on ESPN Plus.
Gotcha.
It was good.
No, I didn't catch it, but all right, word. I mean, I'm excited for it. That's another good card too. That's a banger of a card. But let's get started here. First, we got 14 fights this card. It looks like this is actually a big card. First fight of the night we have is Mohammed Usman versus Mick Parkins. Mick Parkins 8-0. He's 28, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach, and Mohammed Usman is 10-2, 34, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Let's take a look at the odds right now. You can get Usman anywhere from plus 126 to plus 130. You can play Mick Parkins anywhere from minus 141 to minus 160. I'm going to start us off here just because I have a bet on it. I played Mick Parkins at the highest odds you could. I believe it was minus 172. I think he's good till minus 200. I'm not sure with this whole line movement going down and what's going on with that. I'll be honest here. I am a Usman fader. I have tried to fade him every single time I could. I tried to fade him with Poga. That didn't work. I tried to fade him with Tafa. That didn't work. I stayed off Collier because I'm not going to try and fade him there. But this fight is one of those fights that I think he's actually going to lose because, Mick Parkins is a guy who's pretty good. He showed he's well-rounded. He's got good grappling, good takedown defense, good submission game, good striking, good boxing, relatively good cardio. And, he's training at that Team Fish Tank MMA with, guys like Aspinall, Craig Jones, not Craig Jones.
Paul Craig.
Paul Craig. There you go. Paul. Thank you. Paul Craig. I mean, he's got good guys around him. He's looked good every fight. They say, I know if Drav was here, he'd be talking shit saying, well, aren't you worried about how he didn't look good last fight? I mean, dude, that was a bad fight for him. And he still won, I think, a 30-27 one judge gave him. So I think this is this Usman getting decent fighters. This just came to an end. I think Mick Parkins is going to probably win a boring decision here. I don't really see him getting a finish. I think if he gets Usman down, he'll keep Usman flat on his back. I think this is the one time we're going to see Usman on his back. If not, he keeps it standing and he wins just like he did against Pogues. I mean, we saw how good Pogues is or how improved Pogues is looking now. But I don't know. I think this is a pretty good spot. I mean, minus 140 is stealing. The only reason I haven't doubled up is because I was waiting for that decision prop to drop on FanDuel. I'm going to go to Keith first. I know Keith bet him as well, and then we'll go to you, Mick Picks. What's going on, Keith? What are you thinking for this?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so for this bet, I did go Parkin at minus 166. I thought that this would grow to minus 200 plus, honestly. But apparently the community has a Usman fetish. So I think that in this spot, I think that it's pretty clear the skills are on the same level. Mick is the rare minute winner at heavyweight. Jabs, low kicks, good grappling. I think that in terms of any grappling scenarios, I think that Mick is going to be the guy that wins most of the scrambles. I think on the feet, I think that he's going to jab and low kick him to death. Usman's super wide with his hands standing, and whenever he gets touched with anything, he has a super weird reaction and bounce in his step that I think isn't going to appeal to judges here. I really don't see a way other than just making it a nasty, ugly fight. But I think even in extended exchanges, Usman puts his head down, just starts winging shots like he's in a school cafeteria. I think that Parkins is going to stay disciplined. I think he's going to jab his face off, honestly. And I'm not understand. I understand Usman has found a way to win a lot of these fights. Collier's a quitter. Tafa is Tafa. I really just don't see a way that he gets done against somebody who is leveled above him from a skill standpoint here. But minus 140, I think the line is now. I think that's still a great bet, and I would play the line all the way to minus 200.
McPicks, what do you got for us? Why are you staying off this bet when there's generational wealth right in front of you?
I mean, I agree with you guys on the point that, you know, Parkins definitely the better striker. What I noticed though in his last fight against Machado is, you know, like you said, Pegasus, he kind of gassed out, and that was not like, you know, typical for him. But it's really because he grappled a bunch, so he doesn't have that like grappling cardio. So I think that's what most people are seeing. They're expecting that if Usman's going to press against him, maybe get a takedown, or even if Parkin decides to take him down, he doesn't have the cardio, the grappling cardio. He does have the kickboxing cardio. He looked good against Pogues, the fight previous to that, and then the fight on his contender series against Nevis. It only lasted, you know, a couple of minutes. But I think that most people are seeing the grappling upside and athleticism upside on the side of Usman. And, you know, he's definitely not the best striker, but it is serviceable. He has a good jab, you know, good movement. So I think actually that Usman's the side. I think that if he can get Parkin down, he might be able to control him and get some top control. And he's definitely position over submission. So that's why he gets a lot of decision wins. But I have no bet here. It's going to probably be a pass for me.
And I to play devil's advocate myself, I agree. I mean, Usman's jab did look a lot better last fight compared to, you know, how it was in the past. He looked a lot more polished on the feet striking. So he is making improvements even at 34. So I could see it. And definitely, I mean, the guy played football at Arizona, so he can definitely get someone to the ground if he needs to, even if it's like a big tackle or whatever it is. Look what the cat dragged in, Drav. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Usman versus Parkin, right?
Yes, break it down, and then we're moving on.
Yeah, MC's original with Usman, but I think we're all on Parkin here. And I mean, I kind of
Parkin podcast.
Yeah, I kind of have some second thoughts about it because I've seen so many people's on him, and yeah, I feel like the fight's probably going to be close. It's probably going to go the distance, but just feel like Parkin's a better striker. It's going to be a bit faster than Usman. And yeah, I love his jab. He's way more technical. I don't love the way Usman react to shots. I think he's a bit chinny. And even in the PFL fights, like that was a terrible look. He doesn't check leg kicks at all. Yeah, I think Parkin's going to have success with the jab, with leg kicks, and I think he's more durable than Usman. I know Usman has not like been finished in the UFC yet, but I mean, he had a lot of sketchy moments, even against Jay Collier, against Tafa. I bet him against Tafa, and that was a sweat in that fight. So he's never winning comfortably. He's always making it close. But I agree with the fact that his striking looked better in his last fight, but he was fighting a guy that gassed after a round. But the jab was there. He did look a bit better, and he's strong. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like at some point Parkin's gonna be able to crack him. And the only thing about Parkin that I think is weird is he looks very good against Pogues, but I don't think he looked good the fight after that against I don't remember the name. I think it was Machado. It didn't look good in that fight to me. So yeah, I just feel like again, I think he has more finishing upside than Usman in this spot, and I feel like he's gonna be able to win minutes on the feet. And for the wrestling, it's probably gonna be close. I'm not too sure if any of these guys are gonna have success with wrestling because we don't really know about we have not really seen Parkin test in the wrestling defense in the UFC, but he did get taken down a couple times on the contenders. So yeah, maybe it's going to be a close fight, but I think Parkins decide and probably going to win a decision. But I feel like he has more finishing upside. He's faster, he's more technical, so and more durable.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's probably going to be a boring fight. By the way, guys, if you want, what's up, Ian? Thanks for joining us. If you guys just want to shoot out tweets, let everyone know we're live so we can get some people in here. Let's go on to our next fight here in the meantime while you guys tweet that out. Next fight we got is Igor Severino versus Andre Lima. Igor Severino is 8-0. He's 20 years old. He's 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Andre Lima is 7-0. He's 25 years old. He's 5'7", and he's got a 67.5-inch reach. Odds on these guys is Silva is anywhere from plus 155 to plus 143. Lima is anywhere from minus 175 to minus 190. Mick Picks, you break down for us first. What are you thinking for this one?
I think it's kind of a tough fight to call. I think the line is a bit wide where it's at right now. I think this one opened to pick 'em. I kind of agree with that a little more. Maybe Lima as a slight favorite. I thought I was going to bet Severino before I looked into this fight, but I don't know. I kind of like. I think Lima is just more grounded. He's like more sturdy with the striking. He's more defensively sound. The concern is that De Silva comes out and he's able to take down Lima, and that was my concern with Lima too. Is that he's pretty content off his back, which I don't like. I saw in one of his other fights, he got taken down. He didn't try to pop back up, and he got put in an arm triangle, and he stayed calm, which is good. But you don't want to get put in those situations. But I just think that De Silva or Severino is he's a little too raw right now. I think Lima should be the slight favorite. I think he wins it probably by decision.
Okay. All right. Key, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, this is a pass fight for me. I think both guys are solid. I'm really, really high on Lima, but this is a fight that I'm just going to sit back and take notes on.
Drav?
I think it's a banger. I don't see this fight being boring by any means. I feel like both of these guys are going to have a good career in the UFC. I'm kind of high on both guys, to be honest. To me, one of the things that was kind of surprising is, if you look with Severino da Silva, right? He has 100% finish rate, but he has late finishes. He loved the round 2 finish. And even he has a finish in the third round. I kind of love that because sometimes we see guys that have always first round finishes, and then we don't really know about how they're going to look after the first round and stuff like that. But this dude has shown me to be very good after 5 minutes. He can push a good pace. I'm not worried about his cardio. And we're talking about a guy that, he started his pro career at 15 years old. He became a Jungle Fight champions in Brazil, which is a very good organization. I think he fought better competition than Lima. He's only 20 years old, which is crazy with the level of competition that he's fought. And he's a dog. I love him. I think he has good wrestling. I think he has good grappling. He's a pretty decent striker with good pressure, good power, and he can take a shot. He's pretty durable. I love his submission defense. I was able to see some of it on tapes. I've watched every single of his fights, so I'm kind of familiar with him. I love the fact that he can win by sub, he can win by knockout. Good submission defense. On the other hand, Lima's pretty good. I think he's going to have a speed advantage here, and he has good grappling of his own. I know that he's a kickboxer, but I think he's a brown belt in BJJ, so he's pretty good on the ground. I'll say decent takedown defense, but he can get taken down. Also, he has good submission defense. It's going to be hard to submit, so I'm not really sure if any of these guys are going to be able to submit the other, but if anyone shoot, it's going to be Severino. I think he has the wrestling upside. I think he fought better competition. Like I said, he's going to be the one putting more pressure than Lima, in my opinion. But then you have Lima with the speed advantage, and he's a solid striker, so he's more technical than Severino. Severino sometimes is a little bit too wide, but he doesn't care. He put just big pressure, which I like. But either way, it's going to be a banger. But to me, in a close fight like that, with a guy with better competition and wrestling upside, I think you got to pick Severino. I tend to agree with MC. I think around the pick'em is probably more accurate. But now we have a guy at plus 155, so kind of a easy click for me at this price.
Yeah, definitely. I think this fight's going to be a banger. Believe it or not, I played the under 2.5. I got it at minus 110 on FanDuel. I know that some of these guys like to finish late, but if you look at it, Igor has finished, I believe it's all 8 of his fights. And I did Andre Lima. I believe he's finished 5 of his 7 fights. So these guys are finishing at what rate is that? 90 or something %, if not closer, and they're giving you a 50-50, basically 52-48 on the under. So I kind of thought that was a no-brainer for me. I'm willing to get burned because I do think these guys both come out swinging and they both want to finish each fight. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Under's way to play it, kind of like Key said. I'm just here. I'm going to watch each guy, see how they develop, and then, bet them later on. I think the under is the play because you kind of get both of their finishing upside. Next fight we have is Montserrat Rendon versus Daria Zheleznyakova. Zheleznyakova, right? Am I saying that right, Keith?
Zheleznyakova.
Zheleznyakova. All right.
That's a hard one to be sure.
Yeah. Zheleznyakova, 8-1, 28-5-9, reach unavailable versus Montserrat Rendon, 6-0, 35. Whoa. 5'8", 68-inch reach. As you can tell, I did not look into this fight at all. We have you can get Rendon anywhere from plus 180 to plus 165. Daria is anywhere from minus 200 to minus 225. Low-level girls fight. Our specialist Key, take it away. What do you think?
The people's main event, man. The people's main event. This is my Super Bowl. This is my NBA championship of the week. I did pretty well last week with Amarim round 1 sub. McKenna under 2.5 takedowns on Prize Picks. But this is my spot for this week. I think that Daria is just levels above this girl on the feet. I've watched Rendon. I actually was watching the Invicta card live whenever she robbed Brittany Cloudy. I don't rate Rendon at all. I think that she wants to fight, but she can't fight, if that makes sense. I do think that she's a dog. I think that she's going to continue fighting. I think she'll fight hard, but the skills and the athleticism is not there. Super clunky footwork, very, very slow hands, telegraphing punches. I think the dog completely lights her up with straight shots down the middle all night long. I think grappling-wise, I think that Rendon is the better fighter. I don't think that that's a secret. But how many times is Rendon truly getting the fight down to the ground and getting it at positions? She caught a couple kicks against Vidal. I think that that's her only way to get takedown. She doesn't shoot double legs, really. It's a lot of body locks and cage pushing, and not a lot of activity, honestly, in the clinch. I think Daria is the plus athlete here. She's 7 years younger. Rendon's chin hasn't been completely tested. She got touched a couple times against Cloudy. But I think that this is a fight where Daria has a chance to look minus 400, minus 500 early. I do think that she has a chance to get KO. I also think that she can cruise to this year. I trust Daria has been with Finn Lopez in the MMA factory over in France. I think that she's definitely putting in the work with takedown defense. She's shown some good sprawls, and I'm banking on her athleticism and her growth as a young fighter to show improvement on the ground. I think the Dixon fight was a weird look. Getting after lighting Dixon up for over 3 minutes and then randomly getting mounted. But I don't think that that's Rendon. Rendon doesn't have that control. She doesn't have that pressure. I think that Daria is going to light her up all night long. And honestly, I'll be surprised if this isn't a 30-27. And maybe Rendon gets a takedown and maybe that's the round, but I don't see that here. And at minus, what is it, 210 now? I personally got minus 142 on DraftKings about 2 weeks ago. And so I'm happy with minus 142. I think that she's still fine at minus 210 if you want to throw her in a parlay. But this is a Daria spot through and through.
So you think her takedown defense stands up here against a girl in Montserrat? Everyone on Twitter, I'm only asking because I didn't, like I said, I didn't tape either of these two. Everyone on Twitter is like, oh, the takedowns are going to be there all night for Rendon. Are they really going to be there all
Absolutely
night?
not. Rendon doesn't even
No.
have the athleticism to be shooting for legs like that. I mean, there's potential for a body lock into a trip, maybe. But like I said, I think that Daria is going to be able to keep distance here. Rendon just isn't the athlete that needs to be to dominate Daria on the ground.
Gotcha. McPix, what do you think here? You got any interest in betting this one?
No interest. I think I'm not going to add too much. I think he broke it down pretty well. But so when Rendon made her UFC debut, I was waiting for a moment to fade Tamiris Vidal, who's absolutely terrible. Actually, I bet another terrible fighter. You should never fade a fighter with the fade, but I bet Ramona Pasquale as an underdog against Vidal, and it was just she got hit with like a flying knee. And I was waiting for the next fight for Vidal, and then here comes in Montserrat Rendon, and I was like, I just can't bet on this girl because she's so bad. But yeah, I agree with Key. I think Daria is the way better striker. She's younger, she's bigger. But I kind of made a pact with myself to not bet on UFC fighters, especially in women's MMA, when they make their UFC debut when they have a negative number next to their name. Because the only concern I have is that, somehow Rendon gets her down and then keeps her down for the round. And then I'm, screaming at my TV. So it's a pass for me, but I think that, Daria should kind of just beat her up on the feet, maybe even find a finish.
Drav, any interest here?
Yeah, I mean,
we're losing viewers talking about this fight, so let's get this on.
Yeah, I just feel like Darius, again, the better striker. She's way more dangerous. Rendon was zero finish in her career. I just think that she's very durable, so she's probably not going to get finished. And I mean, she doesn't have good wrestling, but if somehow she gets on top, I don't trust Daria off her back is very bad in my opinion. So I think she's going to be a fade soon against like a good grappler, but her striking is pretty good, pretty powerful. So I think she should be fine here against a girl who's not dangerous and doesn't present really a wrestling threat and any danger. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Daria to win. I don't feel like betting minus 200 on her because of the lack of ground game, but she should look good here. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next fight here, we got Jarno Errens versus Stephen Nguyen. Stephen Nguyen, he's 9-1. He's 30 years old. He's 5'11 with a 73-inch reach. Jarno Errens is 13-5-1. He's 29, 5'11 with a 73-inch reach. You can find these odds right now anywhere on Stephen Nguyen, anywhere from minus 164 to minus 190. Errens is anywhere from plus 158 on FanDuel to plus 130. Drop, start us off with this one. You think Stephen Nguyen's going to be the side, even though we've watched him, out of Fortis MMA, kind of boring fighter, been around, could he go to Contender Series, twice, 3 times?
3 times.
So 3 times, right?
Yep.
So is he UFC caliber? And by the way, he's finally making his debut and he's 30 years old, closer to 31. And Errens has always looked kind of okay. So what do you think?
Yeah, I don't have a strong read on this fight. I know that a lot of people are on the underdog in Errens. To me, my problem is that he's very low volume at times, so that's a concern. But I think he's pretty good everywhere. He did look decent against Shaw. He cracked him at some point. So, yeah. And on the other hand, I mean, Steven beating AJ Cunningham doesn't tell me much. I don't think he's a good fighter. And then he didn't beat anyone really good. He got knocked out by Alan Cruz. So yeah, I don't think he's a good fighter, but he does have good volume, good cardio. He's not really a finisher. He's more of a decision guy, in my opinion. I think Errens is pretty tough. He's probably more durable here. And I think he's more technical. He's probably the better striker, but Steven's going to throw way more volume. And I think it's probably going to be a close decision. And in a close decision, you want to be on a plus 150 dog. So that's for sure. I kind of feel like I missed the boat here. I'm kind of leaning Errens, but yeah, I was considering when he was plus 175, plus 180. I didn't pull the trigger, and now the line got bet down too much. So I feel like he's a very popular underdog. I kind of prefer to stay away in that spot, but I feel like it's going to be a close 29-28 decision. So, yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the dog's the side here as well. I mean, he has pretty good strength and competition so far in the UFC. He's kind of got the short end of the stick for the most part. And I mean, he's a young guy. I kind of hope he wins this fight just because, I think I bet him against
Yeah, you did against Choi. I remember.
Yeah, bet him against Troy. And I mean, it is what it is. That was a tough fight for him. But I don't know. He kind of came into the UFC and they gave him, William Gomez, who obviously is, pretty improved. He's getting better each fight. Choi is also a guy, name has been around the block for a while. I just hope this isn't his last fight and they cut him, because if you watch the roster bot, they've been cutting a lot of people. But I think Errens is a side here at the dog price. McPicks, what are you thinking? Any plays here?
I think these guys are similar fighters. Nguyen, the guy Nguyen hasn't really fought anyone. He fought in the Contender Series 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his best opponent was probably Cruz, who knocked him out with that flying knee. But then he fought some random guy from who knows where, never heard of him. And then he fought AJ Cunningham, who's tough, but let's be honest, I don't think he belongs in the UFC. I do think that both these guys are going to come in fired up, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a finish here. I know it's favorite to go the distance, but I just feel like both of them are going to get the fight that they want. Like Errens, he's been more aggressive recently, and Gomez took him down and held him down, and him versus Choi there was a lot of action. They both knocked each other down. There was almost a finish, and then Choi held him down at one point. I just feel like both these guys are going to strike. They're going to bang, and I think someone's going to fall. I'm going to edge Nguyen just because of the volume, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets finished here.
Nice. Now you can get that fight ends inside the distance. I was just looking that up for you. Fight inside the distance is plus 120. Under 2.5 is plus 150. Errens inside the distance is plus 325, and Nguyen is plus 250 inside. Key, how about you? Anything different here? You got any bets?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. This is a fight I'm going to pass on. No interest in either fighters. Errens has some bad losses. Low volume. I'm not touching this fight.
That's me. I'm one of the 4 horsemen. That's the one. That's me who you're referring to. Okay, so let's go on to the next fight here. Next fight is Miles Johns versus Cody Gibson. We're looking at this fight, right? Miles Johns, household name, 13-2. He's 29, 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. He is fighting Cody Gibson, who's 19-9. He is 36, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. The action on these guys right now is Miles Johns anywhere from minus 140 to minus 150. So it's pretty tight line across the board. That's usually not a good sign. Cody Gibson is plus 127 to plus 110. Key, I'm going to have you start us off first. Is Miles Johns going to beat up Cody Gibson because he's older? Is he going to be able to? Is Cody Gibson going to be able to stop these takedowns later on, or do you think Cody Gibson just keeps the pace on him and uses his length for once?
Yeah,
I agree,
in
bro.
this spot,
Don't worry about it.
I honestly, I wanted to get to a Miles Johns bet earlier in the week is too much. I'm not necessarily sure. Some people are very confident that he's just going to completely melt him, and I don't necessarily know if that's the case. I really do think that Johns has some skills, and I don't think that Gibson's going to be able to necessarily wrestle fuck his way to victory here. But I do think that grappling, Gibson hasn't necessarily shown the best striking defense. I think he could get clipped, but I personally don't want anything to do with this fight.
Gotcha. McPicks, you got to play here.
I have no play, but if I had to make a bet, it would be on Gibson. I think that stylistically, it's a good matchup for him. Johns is he's an athlete. He's a good fighter. He has good wrestling. He impressed me in his last time out against Argueta. He did a really good job, defending the takedowns and working his game. I just feel like Johns is the type of fighter where, number one, I don't think his cardio is that good. Everything went well for him his last fight. That's why his cardio looked good. I don't think he likes to get pressured. Like what's the one guy that pressured him and then submitted him?
Castaneda.
Yeah, John Castaneda.
Yeah, and Gibson has that style where he's going to pressure you. He's going to throw a lot of volume. He's long. He's big for the division. He has power in his hands. What concerns me is that he does slow down himself in the third round, and he's 36 or 37 years old. But I just think that on short notice, and we got a guy, and Gibson looked good his last time out. I don't know if you guys rewatched the fight against Katona. That fight was a banger.
They really both got the contract for that.
They deserved it. But Katona took over late, but it was a close fight until then, in terms of volume. But Katona kind of beat him up the last minute or so in the third and hurt him to his eye. But I just feel like, Gibson can pressure Johns, throw a lot of strikes, overwhelm him, and maybe even find a finish. So I think it's dog or pass here.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Brad Katona's not really finishing anyone, him getting hurt. Me personally, I was going to try and get that Miles John line around -110, -120. I think he's the side for this fight just because of the way, the Dan Argueta fight was a no contest because of Adderall, I guess. I think it was. Vince Morales, John Castaneda, Kevin Natividad, Mario Batista. He's fought a bunch of good guys. He's got that knockout power very early in the fight. I'd say round 1, round 2. He has obviously a very decorated wrestling background where he can use that pretty much anytime. He'll kind of lean on that more towards the end of fights after he loses his knockout power. But he's one of those guys who, he has a good wrestling takedown. He fell in love with the knockout after that Kevin Natividad knockout. And I just think he's more well-rounded. Cody Gibson, sure, he looked great against Brad Katona, but Brad Katona gets hit a lot. He also is allowed to get hit. If you go back and look at the Ray Borg fight, I think the Ray Borg fight, he's a lot smaller than Cody Gibson, and he had no problem with him. So I'm not sure that's a great look. Same with John Dobson. I mean, he's fighting guys who are very small coming up into this. I'm just not very high on a guy coming in 1-4 in the UFC and, being 36 years old, especially against a guy with knockout power. I kind of think Miles Johns is the side. I don't think I'd play him at this price just because now we talk about, betting and getting an edge. The fact that between all the books in the world, there's only, 9 or 10 points difference across the board means all the books calculated, figured it out, and there's no edge left in this line. So I would probably not take a side here. Dravi, what do you think for this one?
Yeah, first of all, we have 17 people in the chat, only 7 likes. What's going on, guys? Come on, give us a like. We're doing it for free for your entertainment. So let's go, man. To be honest, it's a fight that I go back and forth. I don't feel strong about either side. I think you can make a case for both guys. I wanted to bet Gibson at first because, like MC said, I think stylistically it's a good matchup for him because of the volume, because of the pressure. And we know that John struggled with that. I don't think he has good cardio. He slowed down after every time he slowed down after maybe at the end of the second round and in the third round. Even in his last fight against Argueta, he was slowing down in the third round, but Argueta didn't really push pace. That was weird because he does normally. So yeah, but I feel like Gibson's probably gonna cause him some problems. But in some fights that I've watched, I think that I thought in my head that he was like this crazy durable and cardio machine, but he's not really it. Like he's big for the division. He throw good volume, but he slowed down himself in the third round. And I've seen some fight that he get cracked. You guys talk about the Katona fight. That was a banger. So if you didn't watch that fight, go watch it now. That was crazy. But yeah, I feel like Gibson slowed down himself in the third because of the pace that he pushed. So maybe he's able to finish Johns in the second round or maybe in the third round because John is more tired than him. I know that John's on short notice. I think that's 3 weeks if I'm not mistaken. But if you look on his Instagram, I think he's in shape. He was ready. He was already training. So I don't think it's gonna matter that much, but you need to consider that into your capping. That's for sure, especially with a guy that has bad cardio normally. So yeah, I just feel like, I mean, if you look at the stats, John is way better defensively. It's not even close, and he has more power, and he's good at winning minutes with his wrestling and with his striking. And he's 7-0 to the decision, which is quite impressive to me. So, and he's also much younger. So yeah, to me, I'm kind of leaning Johns to win, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a close decision again. I don't want to bet him at chalk because of the short notice and because of the cardio issues. I think Gibson round 2, round 3 is probably not a bad look either. But again, I've seen him slow down in the third round himself. I've seen him get cracked in the third round. I think his takedown defense doesn't look as good in the third round, but he has good wrestling himself. So yeah, to me as of now, it's probably just a pass. But yeah, I think you can make a case for both sides. I was leaning Gibson, but after tapes, I'm kind of leaning Johns. But at the price, it got to be dog or pass if we talk about betting, because I think it should be closer to a pick 'em. But I just don't feel like the value is big enough for me to pull a bet on Gibson at the current line.
Who do you think the guy you said Magic tweeted there's a dog who should be minus 400? Who do you guys think the best guess on that is? It's a good question.
Got to be Rendon.
Gotta be Zalaal.
Rendon,
Who'd you
huh?
say, McPix?
I'm
Oh,
joking.
fucking
He's like, wait a minute.
Let's take a look real quick. I think
it's Zalaal.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's Zalaal too. I was about to say he's
Zalaal.
the only dog I haven't taken yet. I've been just kind of watching that line. I'm watching it just slip away.
Yeah, but come on, he shouldn't be minus 400. But
Yeah,
I agree.
but
I think that's a little.
I mean, he could
ridiculous.
look that way on the feet if Billy Q can't set that pace and get that going on. Because I mean, let's be real, Billy Q just gets hit.
Go to minus 124, I think.
Say again.
I said Billy Q's line just went to minus 124.
Yeah, so Lal's getting hit pretty good.
So yeah, he's getting clapped right now. He's minus 110 across the board. I'm watching it live, or plus 110 across.
I mean, I think Magic is not high on the Talbott, so maybe he's talking about Saaiman. I don't know, but maybe Saaiman. I don't know.
Well, let's we'll talk about that in a second. We'll get to that one in the next. We'll talk about that when that fight gets there. And he's saying it is Zalaal. All right, nice. Okay, these guys said Zalaal too. March 8th fight was announced publicly. Could have been before that. All right. Yeah, I think it's Zalaal too. I mean, listen. I mean, I faded Billy Q with Edson Barbosa. I think that was last fight. I just think. Oh no, that was 2 fights ago. Sorry, I forgot he fought Damon Jackson on that Sandhagen card. That was fucking boring. Actually, I think I bet him there too. But I just think that Zalaal is probably going to beat him up, even though it's short notice. I think as long as he doesn't get melted by the cardio, he shouldn't have a problem. But there's my breakdown. I won't go when we go next time. Next fight, Ricardo Ramos versus Julian Juicy J Erosa. Julian Erosa is 28-11, 34-6-1 with a 75-inch reach. Ricardo Ramos, he is 28-5-9 with a 72-inch reach. The action on these two gentlemen are plus 128 to plus 140 for Erosa, minus 148 to minus 160 on Ricardo Ramos. So, Drav, you start us off on this one. Who do you think's going to win this?
Yeah, talking about bangers, that's another one. It's going to be a fun fight. I'm kind of surprised that this fight is not on the main card. Pretty sure it's in a prelims, right? Yeah, I think it's prelims fight. Yeah. It's kind of surprising because that's a banger. And I mean, Erosa's always in close fight in bangers. Like, give me one of his fight that was boring. I don't think you can. He's a fun guy, Juicy J. I love him. I know he has a tough skids lately. Like, he's been KO a couple of times. The last fight was that was an early stoppage, if we're being honest. Like, he was fine, but yeah, that's kind of the way he is. He's getting cracked and then he's winning fights. But yeah, the Caceres fight, I know Caceres is not knocking out anybody, but that head kick was like, the setup was very, very nice. Like, to be honest, he fainted and then the head kick, he didn't see the shot coming at all. So that was a crazy knockout. And then he looked good against Dawodu. He beat him up. The Charles Jordan fight was a banger. They both fought him. My boy Jordan. And I mean, Jordan kind of sub Ramos early. That was kind of surprising. I bet him there. And yeah, to me, in this fight, if Ramos doesn't knock him out early, which I mean, he can knock him out early with like an elbow or something, but he's not really like a good power guy. Like he's good at getting KO or hurting people with like spinning elbows and stuff like that, but he's not gonna like he's not gonna pull away with the striking in this fight. I think Erosa is the better striker. Yeah, he got that dog in him, that's for sure. But Ramos is more durable, though. I'll say that. But I think he's kind of a quitter, Ramos, and I don't think he has good cardio. I mean, Juicy J, he has nasty cardio and he has that dog in him, but he doesn't have the best chin. We know that. He's getting older. But I love the fact that he moves to Extreme Couture after his last fight. I've looked to his Instagram. He looks to be in good mind, in a good mind space, which I love. And yeah, if we just talk about the matchup, we have a guy that Ramos was more of a grappler, but he has flashy striking. I mean, Ramos has been finished 4 times himself. That was all in the first round. So that's kind of tricky because I think that if Ramos doesn't finish him early, Juicy J is going to take him. He's going to take over. He's going to finish him late. But again, you have a guy in Ramos that has been finished 4 times in the first round. But yeah, maybe someone's going to die in the first round in this spot. So yeah, I don't really see Ramos controlling Erosa on the ground. I think Erosa is a very slick grappler. He has never been submitted. And I don't rate Ramos top control. I think his wrestling is decent. But if you try to wrestle heavy here, I think he's going to gas out. And if you strike with Juicy J and he doesn't catch him and knock him out, I think he's gonna get. I think Juicy J is going to put a pace on him and he's going to break him as the fight goes on. So I think as these odds, I think Juicy J is the spot personally. I know it's a little bit scary because of the chin issues and the fact that he has been KO'd multiple times, but that's just a fight to me that if he doesn't get catch early with like a spinning elbow or even I say early, and he can get catch any moment by that. But I really think that if Ramos knock him out, it's going to be a spinning elbow. So how many percentage I can put into that to knock him out, not too much. And then I favor Juicy J cardio. I favor his striking. I favor him as the fight goes on. I think the volume's better for him. I think that Ramos didn't look great in some of his fights late, and even the Turugov fight, he didn't look good early. They both cracked each other, but yeah, man, I think Erosa is gonna break him, and I think he can submit him. I think he can knock him out. I think he can win the decision. I know Ramos is 5-1 to the decision, but I think Erosa is gonna win a decision if they go the distance, and I think he can finish in 2 ways. On the other hand, I guess Ramos could win a close decision, but I think his path is probably a knockout. So to me, I think the line should be flipped personally. I think Erosa should be a slight favorite. And I think the under is good just because of the stylistic matchup and the fact that they've been finished multiple times. So yeah, I think the under 2.5 is a good bet. I think Erosa is a good bet. So yeah, man, I think it's going to be a banger either way. That's for sure.
I agree with you. I was just thinking about the under as well. I think that's the best way to play with both guys having finishing upside. I will say this. I do think if you're going to play a money line side, you got to play Erosa here. I think Ramos is kind of, finish or bust in the sense that Erosa will melt him. This fight goes past 7.5, 8 minutes and Ramos doesn't find that finish. Erosa is still going to be there and he's going to melt him and he'll quit. Just like he said, just like Ricky said as well. I think you got to play the dog at a dog price here. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. McPix, what are you thinking here? You got a side?
This is the one fight I did not get around to looking into, but I've bet Erosa in the past. I've won and lost with him. I bet him his last time out when he got knocked out. Like Drob said, I think it was a bit of an early stoppage, but he was definitely hurt. You just can't, he's 34 years old. He's been knocked out in 7 out of his 11 losses. His chin's not getting better. Ramos is younger. He doesn't have a lot of power. He gets those spinning elbows. So yeah, I haven't looked into this one, but I just don't trust the chin of Erosa at this point.
Gotcha. Key, how about you?
It's dog or pass, but really a pass fight, in my opinion. Can't trust the chin of Erosa. I agree with what everybody else has said so far.
All right, cool. All right. Next fight here we got is Trey Ogden versus Kurt Holobaugh. Trey Ogden, 16-6. He's 34 years old. He's 5'11 with a 72-inch reach. Kurt Holobaugh is 20-7. He's 37, 5'11 with a 70-inch reach. So we got Trey Ogden's anywhere from -155 to -145. Holobaugh's anywhere from +135 to +120. McPicks, breaks down for us first. Who do you think? Do you think Kurt Holobaugh's going to knock out Trey Ogden, or do you think Trey Ogden's going to sub Kurt Holobaugh?
Did any of you guys have Ogden against Mata his last time out at plus money?
Nope.
I had Mata, bro. I got saved.
Oh my god, what a bad beat that was.
I got lucky, dude. You had Ogden?
I did, yep.
Oh, damn, that was a good bet, dude.
It happens. Sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. That's usually even out. I think this one's tough to call, to be honest. I don't have a lot of conviction in this matchup. I think even though Holobaugh is 36 or 37 at this point, I think he's honestly looked a lot better recently, even on the Ultimate Fighter, and then his last time out against Austin Hubbard, he looked really good. I'd say he's the more aggressive fighter. He's the heavier hands for sure. I just think Ogden also has looked pretty good of late. He has a really good jab, good ground game as well. He's a little bit bigger, and I think that Ogden's cardio is a little better. So, again, low conviction. The line should probably be closer, but I'm going to slightly edge Ogden. I think that just because he has a better cardio, and I think he's a little more likely to land takedowns as well.
Okay. Nice. Key, what do you think for this one?
Yeah, I think Ogden has a better process. I think that there's a strong grappling edge here. I don't really have a strong opinion on this fight. Ogden isn't somebody that I want to bet right now at chalk. So we'll see how that goes. I know Drive has a pretty big opinion on this fight, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go first before Drive goes. So I think that Kurt Holobaugh's side here, like Greg Lee just said, I think Ogden doesn't do well going backwards. I mean, sure. He's pretty good with his jab. He's pretty long. But I think the pressure of Kurt Holobaugh and the Muay Thai of Kurt Holobaugh is going to be a pretty big issue for Trey Ogden. I think he can hurt Trey Ogden. I know Kurt's grappling defense and his BJJ are pretty good. I think this is a Kurt Holobaugh play here. I personally didn't get on it because I don't like, betting a line that I kind of missed out on. I know he opened up at like plus 145. We're kind of creeping back there. If I can get plus 145, I'll take it. But I think this is a clear Kurt Holobaugh win here. I may even play the finish depending on what line I get on FanDuel. Go ahead, Drop.
Do you really think you missed the line though? Because he's still plus 135.
Well, I mean, it's moving the wrong way. It got up to like plus 125, and now it's going back.
Yeah, the line's going back and forth. It got bet down to plus 120. Got bet between plus 120 to plus 135. Yeah, I feel like you should be closer to a pick him here. To be honest, maybe even Kurt slight favorite. I love this card because we have a lot of closely line fights, and I think that's good because we have had massive weeks with like minus 500 everywhere, which is boring. So in this fight, I know that Trey Ogden has been looking good lately. I think he has very good fight IQ. I think he has a good jab. I think he can be hard to fight at time with the way he fight, and he's a pretty slick grappler. But on the other hand, like MC said, I think that Kurt has been looking better lately, and I think that his grappling is also very good. He's a legit black belt. I don't think Ogden's going to submit him. On the other hand, I've seen Ogden getting tapped 2 times by guillotine, and that was not a good look to me because he tapped kind of quick. And I know his grappling defense has not been like tested much in the UFC. If you don't, the Levitt fight, I guess, but lately it has not been really tested. And in this fight, I feel like he's very good. He has very good fight IQ, so he's gonna try to shoot takedown here because Kurt takedown defense is not very good. So I guess Ogden can potentially get takedowns. But again, you have a guy in Ogden that doesn't have good wrestling. Like his wrestling percentage and accuracy is not good. So if you try to go for takedowns, I think he's probably gonna get them. I'm not too sure that he's gonna control Kurt on the ground, but Kurt has a very, very good guillotine. So, and I've seen Ogden getting tapped by that. So I feel like he's going to be able to potentially put him in danger if Ogden tried to wrestle. and he's pretty slick of his back. I mean, with the finish that he hit against Austin, what's his name? Austin Albert, right? That was crazy. Yeah. I've watched this fight back the other day, and that was a crazy finish. Like, that was nasty. So the guy is a legit black belt. I don't think Ogden's gonna submit him personally. I think if anyone get a sub, it's gonna be Kurt with like a guillotine or something. Yeah, so that's that. And then on the feet, I think Holobaugh is the way better striker. I think that Ogden has he's better defensively, I guess, because Holobaugh getting hit a lot. But Ogden is kind of good to make people fight their fight. And I'm kind of confident that Holobaugh is not gonna care. I don't think he's gonna respect the power. And he's more durable than Ogden. I know Ogden has not been KO, but I've seen him get dropped on the regional. I don't think his chin's the best of all time. And I think that a guy like Holobaugh is going to put pressure on him. He's going to pressure him. I'm very confident in that. And Ogden doesn't like being pressure like that. And Holobaugh, I mean, he has good power. He has good jab himself. I think the leg kick's going to be there. And I just feel like he's going to break him. I really do. And Ogden looks in good shape. He has been looking good lately. But again, it's not really a guy I think we can bet at chalk against a guy who's dangerous like Holobaugh. So yeah, to me, I feel like if they go the distance, Ogden's probably going to win a close decision. Personally, that's my read. But if someone getting finished, I think Holobaugh has way higher finishing upside than Ogden. And I'm not saying he can't win a decision. I think it's going to be a close decision if he go the distance. But I favor Ogden a little bit, and I favor Holobaugh a lot in the finish. And I think he's more durable. So yeah, even if he's 37, I don't care. He has been looking good, and I think that he's I think he's gonna look good here. So yeah, I gave him out. That was like my free bet of the week. I got plus 130. So yeah, you can get plus 135 right now, and I think that he's a clear side, even with the age difference.
It's amazing, bro. You don't care that he's 37 and I'm 28, and you give me shit, huh? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, you're great, Tag. Don't worry.
All right. Next fight. This next fight is one of Twitter's, fight of the weeks. We've seen a lot of handicappers talking about this one. It's Luis Pajuelo, 8-1, 29, 5'10 with a 70-inch reach versus Fernando Padilla. He's 15-5. He's 27, 6'1 with a 76-inch reach. The action on this fight right now, you get Pajuelo anywhere from plus 146 to plus 135. You can get Padilla anywhere from minus 156 to minus 170. I don't even know who I started off with. Key, start us off with this one. What do you think for it?
Yeah, no super strong reads here for me. I betting Padilla here at chalk, you can't do, in my opinion. I do like the way that Pajuelos does. I mean, he's going to fight the same way every time. He's going to walk you down. He's going to be in your face. He's going to try to out-tough you. At dog money, I think that it's worth a shot, honestly. But I'm not super confident that he's going to look great here. So this is dog or pass for me.
All right, McPix, what are you thinking?
I think that Pajuelo has not fought anyone of substance. The guy's only 7-1. He's inexperienced. The best guy he probably fought was Robbie Ring on the Contender Series, who also was, inexperienced. And he's going like straight up life or death with these regional low level guys, and he's getting hit. But like Key said, he's a dog. He comes forward. He's gonna be in your face. He's got good pressure, good cardio, a lot of volume. But that type of just having that doesn't work in the UFC. You gotta have something else, another part of your game. And I think that Padilla is more technical. He's more defensive. He's longer. He's younger, but he has way more experience. He gets against a much better level of competition. And I don't think it's going to hit the ground, but if it does hit the ground, you got to favor Padilla there. I don't know if you guys watched some of Pajuelo's regional footage, but he looks awful on the ground. So yeah, Pajuelo is one-dimensional. He's inexperienced. I think that I think these guys are going to go to war. I think it's going to be a really exciting fight. I listened to an interview with Padilla, and he acknowledged the fact of how tentative he was against Kyle Nelson. But Kyle Nelson does that to a lot of fighters. He's defensive. He moves around a lot. He's he slows the fight down. Pajuelo is not going to do that. These guys are going to go at it, and I think that one person's going to fall. And I'm going to take the guy who's younger and has more experience, has better defense, and is more technical. So, yeah, give me Padilla.
So I could see that, especially with the grappling. But do you really think that fight's going to the ground at any point? You think Padilla is going to try and take him down or even go for that? Or do you think he's going to try and strike with him the whole fight?
That's what I said. I don't think it's going to hit the ground, but if it does, like if they, when,
it would be smart for him.
Guys, what was that?
It would be smart for him to take him down.
It would be, yeah. I mean, if Padilla shot takedowns, then he would be a pretty big bet. But I just think that if they, when they're going at it like that, they could fall down on each other, and once it hits the ground, then I favor Padilla. But I also favor Padilla on the feet too, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So I'm on the opposite side. I'm on Pajuelo. I believe I played him at plus 135, so right around where it is. I think the leg kicks are going to be different here. He's another Peruvian guy with really strong leg kicks, really good striking, stand in front of you, Muay Thai style. I don't think people are talking about like the jab of Padilla being, hard just because it cracked the nose of Nelson and like everything like that. That's great. But I think if this fight's standing, I think it's only, how does this make, it only plays into Pajuelo's favor if it stays standing. Like that's the only way. His only win condition really is, and that sounds bad being someone betting him, being like, oh my God, you're betting a guy with one win condition. That's his only win condition, but I just don't see Padilla wrestling or see him going for takedowns or trying to get a submission or anything like that. So I'm not worried about it. If he wants to stand and bang, I'll take the dog money for a boxing match or, a sparring match that we're going to see. I mean, if Padilla comes out here and shoots a takedown, then, hey, I'm screwed. But I mean, you don't see it anywhere on his tapes. I don't think he even tries takedowns. So, I think he's going to be a striking fight. I'm going to take the dog money there. I agree. I mean, this would be kind of crazy. It's definitely possible. But I don't know. Padilla's chin's pretty good. I don't really think he's going to knock him. He may knock him down, but I don't think he's going to finish him. I think his fight's going to go to a decision. Sprinkle is a method of victory. I pay Pajuelo by KO if I were to play it. Let's go look at the odds for that. Pajuelo by KO is inside the distance is plus 225. Padilla inside the distance is plus 140. I mean, honestly, I don't hate Pajuelo. Pajuelo by submissions plus 2,000. Padilla by submissions plus 700.
I think if you play the under here too, under 2.5, or even the fight doesn't go, I think that if it goes over, it's going to be a bit of a bad beat. I just can't see the way that Pajuelo, the way he fights every single time, he's never sitting back. He's in your face, he's pressuring. Yeah. So I honestly think someone's going down. Even though neither guy has been finished, I just feel like when you have two guys that are going to do that, then a finish is going to materialize, more often than not. So
definitely. I mean, I like that too. I mean, the over under is 1.5, and the under is obviously plus 160 for that, just because they made it. Did it open 2.5, or was it always 1.5?
1.5.
1.5. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I would play decision. Honestly, I think that's the way to play it. I don't think these guys are both relatively durable. I don't think either of them is going to quit. And I think that's obviously on the opposite side of what most people are thinking. I don't know. I don't see it. I think both guys are pretty good here. Pajuelo by KO is plus 260, so it's a little bit wider, but I don't know. Joff, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a banger. I tend to agree with you guys. I don't really see this fight being boring. I'm going to touch a bit on the wrestling, the grappling. I've watched a shit ton of tapes on Padilla, and he's not wrestling. He's just not. His grappling is good, but the subs he's getting is when people wrestle him and he sub people off his back. He's crafty off his back, so I guess Pajuelo got to be worried because of that. But to be honest, they both have bad takedown defense. I just don't see Pajuelo wrestling him for sure. And I agree that Padilla is the much better grappler. But again, I just can't count on him to wrestle when he has not shown me to wrestle on tape. So just based on that, I feel like they're going to strike for the majority of the fight. And you have a guy in Pajuelo that he put an insane pace. I think he has better cardio than Padilla, to be fair. In some fights that I've watched, Padilla, he doesn't love being the one getting pressure. And he slowed down a bit in the third round in some fight that I've watched. Just look at his record and decision. He's durable, but he's not really good in fights, in my opinion. And yeah, Peg, you talk a little bit about the leg kicks. I think both of them are gonna have success with leg kicks. Difference is I don't think Padilla take them very well. He doesn't check them, and yeah, I know he has never been finished, but he got cracked a couple of times Padilla on the regional. Even he fought Danny Gay, so he definitely fought better competition to your point, MC. But I mean, in the second round, Danny Gay, like the KO was right there. Like Padilla was done. Ige just wrestled fuck him for 15 minutes, but like he could have knocked him out if he wants to. But Ige was more of a wrestler back then. So yeah, man, I feel like Padilla. You talk about Pajuelo, MC being like he has bad defense, but I think Padilla has bad defense as well, especially in the pocket. Like he get cracked a lot. So another point for the under being a good bet. I guess they both doesn't care about being hit. They've never been finished, but it's gonna be a war. I just feel like in a war like that, I kind of love the guy that I think has better cardio. I think that he's gonna push an insane pace, and yeah, I think he has more KO upside than Padilla personally. But yeah, I mean Padilla's longer. He's a little bit tall. He's a little bit taller, and he fought better competition, and he's a better grappler. I just don't see the grappling being like important, and I just trust in the like if the fight into the third round and it's 1-1, I trust Pajuelo more. And yeah, I just feel like he's kind of a wild man, and I want to back him as the dog here. If you didn't watch his fight against Eber Federio, go watch that. That was crazy. And also, the guy is a national boxing champion in Peru. So that's interesting to me. So yeah, I think that his chin is very good. So maybe like the under doesn't cash and look like insane value, but it's gonna be a war, and in a war like that, if I have a good read on it, and it play out like I think it will, give me the plus 150 dog in a fight like that personally. But yeah, it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Marcos or Danilo Marcos, he's also Peruvian kickboxing champion or boxing champion. Next fight here is Billy Q versus Youssef Zalal. Youssef Zalal, he is 13-5. He's 27, 5'10 with a 75-inch reach. Billy Q is 18-5. He's 35, 5'10 with a 70-inch reach. Honestly, you wouldn't know Billy Q is 35. I was kind of shocked. The action on these two gentlemen are you can get Billy Q anywhere from -124 to -140. You get Zalal anywhere from lines now +120 to +110. I got to give my breakdown for this before. As long as Zalal doesn't get melted, works on his bike, jabs his face off. Billy Q gets hit, he's there to get hit. Body kicks will be open, leg kicks will be open, jab, it's gonna be there all day. Billy Q just waits for you to get tired of beating his ass, and then he turns it on and melts you. I kind of just think Zalal probably is gonna be the side here, especially at dog odds. Sure, it's short notice, but like Yusuf Zalal is actually I'm actually pretty, believe it or not, it's gonna be crazy to say he's 3-1 in the UFC. I'm actually pretty high on him. People don't know this, but like this past year, he's been doing boxing and kickboxing tournaments with a different fight organization on the side. I think that was because he wasn't cut, was he?
Yeah, he got cut because of the draw.
Oh, okay, so he got cut. That makes sense.
And the fights you're talking about, that was like 3 fights in the same day, I think. Like that was a boxing fight, kickboxing fight, and MMA fight. He won.
That's pretty cool. And
he won like the 3 fights by finish, I think. So that was cool.
Yeah, and as I'm saying, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty high on him. He got Woodson, Sungwoo Choi, who we just talked about, and Ilya Tapuria. We obviously know how good Ilya Tapuria and Sean Woodson are. I'm pretty high on both those guys too. But Woodson's a Golden Glove boxer. He beat the shit out of Austin Lingo, Jordan Griffin, and Peter Barrett. So he's 3-3. I think the no contest came from the Damon Blackshear where we saw him have. Yeah. Oh yeah. A draw. He had good, grappling in that fight. I think, and that's pretty good for a guy in Damon Blackshear where we've seen him, wrestle a lot of guys. So I think Zalal's aside here at a dog price. Drav, what are you thinking for it?
Yeah. So you guys know I'm honest. When I don't have a good read on the fight, I'm gonna say it straight up. But that's a fight I think I have a good read on. I think that Zalal's the side for sure. I feel like he's a bit underrated in this spot. I feel like people betting BBQ because of his name, because of his style and that he's a fun fighter. I get that. But if we talk about the stylistic matchup, BDQ, first of all, he's 35 years old and he's slowing down. Like, I mean, he's not as good as he was, I think, 3 years ago. He took a shit ton of damage and he fight at 145. So he's a guy that eventually trusts his chin and he gets hit a shit ton. So he's gonna slow down and his style is not gonna work forever. And already seems a little bit of fatigue on him. Like he got, I mean, in almost every fight, he lose the first round. He gets beat up. Like he was getting pieced up bad by Damon Jackson in the first round. That was a bad look. Even in the third round of that fight, I know he was breaking him in the second round. Looked good in the third round, but then Jackson was kind of coming back in the third round, and the fight was like close. And BBQ won the fight, but like that was a close fight. And Jackson is a good fighter, but like he's not durable and he doesn't have good striking in my opinion. Like, yeah. So BBQ again, he lose the first round in the high clip. I think Zalaal's the better striker personally. I think he's faster than BBQ. He's way better defensively. I think he's also, I think he's more durable. He has never been finished, and he fought guys like Topuria, like Peg mentioned, and like his grappling is pretty good. Like you watch the Blackshear fight, like that was a lot of grappling in that fight. He got reversed, he got his back taken. They both took their back, so that was a bit of a crazy fight. But even against Topuria, he got taken down. Topuria took his back, but like Topuria had him in some bad spot in the ground with like guillotine and everything, and he didn't tap. Like he has good submission defense. I think he just got to wear his black belt recently. He's a guy that's training at Factory X. He's training in Denver, so I know he's on short notice here, but he was prepared. Like he's in good shape. He's training at Elevation. I don't think the cardio is going to be a problem. He has pretty good cardio, and normally like BQ, you lose the first round, and then he relies on his opponent to get tired, and he takes advantage of that. He takes a lot of damage, and then he come back and he take over. But yeah, so first, I think it's fair to say that Zell is going to win the first round at a pretty high clip. I don't think he's going to get finished. I don't think he's going to gas out. And yeah, so based on that, Billy Q is going to need to come back. He's going to need to win the second and the third round. I personally don't see it. I think that Zalaal can be a little bit low volume at times, so that's maybe a bit of a concern. But if you look on the regional, like he's finishing people, and he's not low volume. In his last few fights, he looks amazing. Like his defense on point, he switched stances, he has very good jabs, very good striking. But to me, like his knees and elbows are pretty clean, especially the way he's always mixing in the knees. And we have seen Billy Q get caught by that. So I feel like Zalaal is live to, honestly, I think he has potentially more finishing upside than Billy Q, which was not my read initially when I look at the fight, because I parlay the over here at minus 260. But yeah, I didn't think that nobody's going to get finished. But after looking more into it, I think Zalaal has some finishing upside. I don't think BDQ has, personally. I don't think he's going to finish him. I know BDQ is durable, but when he gets knocked out, it's like because of a head kick, a knee or something. So I think Zalaal can do that. And I know he went the distance in every fight in the UFC. But again, look, before the UFC, like every fight was finishes. And I also listened to some of his interviews. He's in a very good spot mentally. I think he's entering his prime. He trusts himself way more. And the way he's talking is he's talking like, he's not saying it, but the way he's talking is kind of that he was a little bit gun shy because he was not trusting himself. But now you know how good he is. So maybe he's going to try to go out there and make a statement and finish BBQ. It's going to be a big win for him. Yeah, I honestly, I don't think he should be the underdog. I think he should be around minus 150. Yeah, I know BDQ is a popular guy from the public, but yeah, man, I feel Zalaal's the side here. He's probably going to win the decision, though. So the decision prop is good. The over is good. Zalaal's good. But yeah,
by KO is plus 750 on DraftKings.
I'm not going to play his KO because, like,
I mean, why not? He just knocked out 3 guys in a row on a kickboxing tournament a month and a half ago.
Yeah, but that was lower level guys, and I'm not like too confident he's gonna knock out BBQ. I feel like his decision prop is probably a better play than the KO personally. And like he just got his black belt. I know BBQ has slick grappling, but he does some mistakes on the ground. So and I didn't talk about the wrestling, the grappling. I'm not too sure that BBQ is gonna be able to take him down. I think Zalaal can potentially take him down, and I think that BBQ is not gonna control him. I don't think he's gonna submit him. I know they've never been submitted, but yeah, I feel like if Zalaal submit him, will be like super impressive, but I don't think it's like, I feel like more often than not, it's going to go the distance, and I feel like Zalaal will win the decision.
Yeah, I'm playing Zalaal by KO for 0.3 units at plus 750. It's at that on DraftKings right now. Every other book has plus 490 to plus 500. So you're getting
plus 750 is worth a shot for sure. But
that's what I'm thinking too. And I was just looking at that right now.
I think
Key, what do you think for this one?
I think you should play both, because then if you win a decision, you still lose money.
I'm thinking about it. But we'll see what we do with this BTL parlay. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't have a strong read on this fight. I think the Zalaal's probably the side at dog odds, but I might get creative with the way that I play this fight on Prize Picks or Underdog. But yeah, I think the drop gave a good breakdown, so I won't say too much.
Cool. Big picks. You got anything here?
Yeah, I mean, you guys broke it down really well. I don't want to say too much either, but yeah, I like Billy Q, but I don't think he's that skilled of a fighter. He's made a living just basically outpacing and out cardioing his opponents. I mean, but he's had some really good stylistic matchups. I mean, if you look at his record, like Damon Jackson beat him in the first round. Damon Jackson beat Billy Q in the first round clearly. Then he gassed out and he lost the next two. Alexander Hernandez, notorious for gassing out. Gabriel Benitez slows down after the second round. Kyle Nelson slows down. Spike Carlisle slows down. Camilla Kirk. So he's had all these guys who like historically just will slow down as the fight goes on. And then Billy Q has really struggled against guys who can keep a pace. Like Gavin Tucker just mopped him on the floor. I mean, took him down, just completely controlled him. Shane Burgos beat him up. Edson Barbosa, like you said, he caught him with the knee. And Zalaal is not a guy who slows down. I'm pretty sure he won the third round against a guy like who did he win the third round against? Who was the champ at 145? Blank on his name.
Topuria.
Yeah.
Topuria was tired.
I'm pretty sure that Zalaal won the third round. He doesn't slow down. He's a good striker. He's at a Factory X, right? He has good grappling. He's well rounded. The concern is, he's low volume. That's a concern, and he fights the close decisions. But I don't know. I think that he's going to be able to outwork Billy Q and sustain that pace and eventually beat him to a decision. So,
all right, cool.
Let's go on to it. Just to touch a little bit about the low volume aspect. When you have a guy that just straight in your face like Billy Q with no defense, I feel like he's going to look fine here. I don't think he's going to be as low volume as he is normally. And like I said, on the regional, like if you watch his fights, like recently, his last 3 fights, he's not low volume. And he talks about that in an interview. He was not really trusting himself, and he was fighting not to lose, then fighting to win in the UFC because he didn't want to embarrass himself. But now I feel like he knows how good he is. And yeah, watch him make a statement. Like, as you guys can tell, I've bet him, but I'm considering maybe adding again, so we'll see.
Nice. All right. Next fight, Twitter's fight of the week. Peyton the Goat Talbott, 7-0, 25, 5'10 with a 70-inch reach versus Cameron Saaiman, 9-1, 23, 5'8 with 67-inch reach. He's got small-ass arms compared to the rest of his body. I don't know what that's about. The action on these two guys, Talbott's anywhere from minus 140 to minus 155, so there's a little price buyback on him. Saaiman is anywhere from plus 130 to plus 118. Key, start us off first. What do you got for us?
Yeah, this is Talbott's through and through, in my opinion here. Yes, I got plus 100 on DraftKings about 2 weeks ago. I'm happy. And minus 150, I probably wouldn't be as inclined to play this. But Talbott's pressure is just too much. I think one big thing to note here, and it sounds like a small detail, but this can change the fight completely. Saaiman does not wear damage well at all.
Nope.
I mean, obviously, super pale white skin isn't going to show damage well. His nose is consistently busted in all of these fights. I don't think that there's a clean path for him here. I mean, he was getting reversed and swept by Terrence Mitchell. I think that there's a Talbot spot. I think round one is Saaiman going to crack him. Everybody cracks Talbot. But Talbot's going to walk him down. Talbot's going to not fuck off. And I think he's just one of those guys that loves to fight. He loves to bleed. And I think the pace on him. I think the Saaiman in the pocket isn't comfortable and does get it. And I think rounds 2 and 3 are Talbot's. And it's not like Talbot's just going to give first, because I don't think that that's the case. But I do think that Saaiman is going to crack him with some good shots early. But Talbot's an insane chin. Watching regional tape, of course, you don't want a guy showing chin on regionals, but I mean, you can't dodge it. He has an insane. I think he's going to walk through it. I think he's going to put a pace on it. I think he's going to drag him into deep waters. And at +100, I'm willing to have a ticket on that any day of the week.
Hell yeah. McPix, what are you thinking for this one?
I think it's an awesome fight. It kind of reminds me of the hype that Bulgarian and Rodriguez had last week. You know, 2 young prospects going at it. I personally think it's tough to have a lot of conviction on either side because this is clearly going to be Talbot's toughest fight to date. And maybe you could say it's going to be Simon's toughest fight to date, but at least he's fought some really good guys. I just like the footwork, the movement, and the kicks of Saaiman. And he also has really good cardio. And, you know, Talbot, like someone mentioned, Talbot, he's pretty hittable. So if he's getting cracked and Simon's moving around, then that's not a good look on the judges' scorecards. But I don't have a money line bet here. I do think that if you're looking for a parlay piece, the over 1.5 rounds is a pretty good look. Both guys are tough. They're not going to give in. And I think if you're looking at the over 2.5, I do think it hits. If you know, it's like -185 or so. But I think that third round is going to get a little hairy because, you know, Talbot, you know, really turns it on in that round. But I don't have a money line side. I'm just looking forward to this fight. But I do think it goes over.
So, guys, just before we go, we just had 22 people. Now we're down to 18. That was our all-time high. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter. Give all these guys a follow. Look at that. We're back up at 22. Give us a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Follow South African, the Sleeper. Follow us on our social medias. Follow the BTL thing. Give us the likes. Here's my breakdown for it. This guy, Talbot.
Wait a minute. We only need 8 subs on the channel to get 100. So come on, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, just hit the sub button.
Get us to 100.
It's going to take 5 seconds, and it's going to cost nothing. Go ahead, Peg.
Actually, we'll do this. If we get to 100 subs this episode, I'll Venmo someone.
Dude, don't get naked.
Yeah. I'll Venmo someone $50 if we get to 100 subs. You got to comment. I'll put all the names in the comments, put it on one of those internet wheels, not me spin, and I'll pick whoever wins the random contest. I'll Venmo you $50. I'll message you separately and get that. So let's get us to 100 this podcast. My breakdown for this. I have a Peyton Talbot bet at -120. I think he's a side here. Don't get me wrong. Cameron Saaiman's going to look good in round 1. Peyton Talbot, he does start slow, but his round 3 is vicious. He's one of those guys that he doesn't care if he gets hit. He keeps moving forward. He's going to kick you. He's going to punch you. He's got great grappling. He's got good getup. He's very athletic. Cameron Saaiman's wrestling is really going to be negated here, which he needs when he gets cracked on the feet. He always goes to wrestling after getting cracked a few times. I don't think he'll really have that here for in this fight. I think this is a great young prospects matchup. I really hate when the UFC does this just because, you know, both guys could have potential to be going upwards on the route. And right now you're kind of going to stagger one. One of them is going to have to stop and fight lower, and someone's going to move up. I think Peyton Talbot has got everything it takes. He's got that star power. He's also got, like, if you watch him post-fight, he's got no emotions, bro. He's just in there to kick ass, and you could just tell he's just different. So Talbot, I think, is the side. That's the bet for me. If we lose the bet, it is what it is. It's like we said, it's, you know, pretty low level early on. Both these guys are young, but I think Peyton Talbot's kind of showed all the tools. His strikes are strong. His body shots are good. Everything comes off clean. He's got a good chin. It's just a matter of, you know, I guess who's going to win a decision. I think is what it comes down to. I don't think anyone's getting finished here. If there is a finish, I think it's Talbot finishing Saaiman, but I think Saaiman's pretty good on the chin, so I don't think he gets finished. Jav, what do you think for this one?
Yeah, yes, Touch, you got a lot of good points, and one of them was this guy Talbott. He's a mofo, dude. In the third and the second and third round, he's a crazy dude. Like, he's breaking a lot of guys, and I mean, he has crazy pace, crazy volume, and an insane chin. Like, the dude chin is insane. Like, I don't see this dude getting knocked out. I know that he's pretty hittable, especially early, so maybe he's gonna get caught eventually. But I mean, Saaiman is a very good kicker. He's a very good striker, but like his hands are not that good, like in the pocket. Like, he's not like that good of a boxer. I bet C-Rod against him, and I mean, C-Rod was touching him not bad in the boxing. So I feel like at distance, he has very good kicks. And yeah, the first round is probably going to be close. Maybe Saaiman win the first round, but then like he said, he doesn't wear damage well. And I mean, Talbot, like, what you can punch him, you can kick him in the face or whatever. He doesn't like the the damage doesn't appear on his face. So that we know the first criteria is damage, right? And I feel like at the end of the fight, if there's not a finish, we're gonna like Saaiman's face gonna be full of blood, and I think Talbot's face gonna have like a scratch. So yeah, man, and also Talbot, I think he's stronger, he's bigger, he's longer. I feel like in the round 2, round 3, Saaiman's going to need to survive. Like, I really do think that he's going to put a pace on him like he always does. And I think that he's very, very live to finish Saaiman late. I know that Saaiman is pretty tough. A path for Saaiman will be to wrestle here, but I don't rate his wrestling, actually. I think he has slick grappling, but I don't think his wrestling is very good. So yeah, I don't see Saaiman being successful with the wrestling. So with that being said, you have the bigger, stronger, longer guy who I think has more power and a better boxer and more volume on the feet. And Talbot against a guy that's in Saaiman that is the better kicker, but he doesn't take damage very well. And yeah, man, I think Talbot's going to look very good. And I think he's live to finish Saaiman late in the fight. Round 2, round 3, that's always the way to go. But I've noticed something in the market. So yeah, full disclosure, as you guys can see, I'm on Talbot, but I bet him at a pick him. I would not bet him at minus 150 at current price. So what I would suggest though, if you have bet 265, you can get I think the market is overreacting to Talbot's submission in his last fight. He's not going to submit Saaiman. If you win, that's going to be a knockout. Okay, so I'm very confident in that. And then if you bet his round 2, round 3, then you can go with the KO2, KO3 instead, and you get much better value. And with a guy like him that finished fight that way, and he's a crazy mofo in round 2, round 3, you want to be on that side. So I'm going to give it out. If you go on bet 365, you can get Talbot round 2 KO at plus 1,200, and you can get the round 3 KO at plus 1,800. I think some crazy ass numbers. I know Saaiman is durable, but I still think the numbers are crazy. So yeah, man, you're probably going to be able to get similar odds on other books. Yeah, I think he's live to finish him in the third round, like very live. And if not, I think he's gonna win a decision based on damage.
Dude, what did you say you were getting the KO at on round 3 and round 2?
Plus 1,200 and plus 1,800.
All right, well, it's plus 900 on Bet Online for round 3 KO.
Yeah,
and
that's my fault though. I hit those lines and I tipped them. That's why. Yeah, that's why they got
crazy. I mean, dude, I'm seeing on Unibet you get plus 1,900 for that round 3 finish.
Yeah, I mean that just because like the round 3 is plus 1,200, right, and the round 2 is plus 800, but then you get plus 1,200, plus 12,000, and plus 1,200 and plus 1,800, just because the market is overreacting to him getting a sub. Like, the price is KO plus 400 on Bet365, but his submission is plus 650. It doesn't make sense. Like, I'll be very shocked if you get a sub. So yeah, that's just that. It's probably gonna go the distance, but if the fight is in the second and third round, you want to be on the Talbot round 2, round 3. I'll say that.
All right, nice. I like it. Wait, okay. This person said, so you think Talbot wins by KO more than decision? No, I think you went to decision for sure.
Just to be clear, I favor a decision, but I think that he's very live to get a knockout. And if he gets a knockout, it's not going to be in the first round. So rather than playing
round 3 KO if he gets it,
maybe round 2, maybe late round 2, because round 2, round 3 KO, I think it's the way he finished the fight. So I'd rather play that than ITD at big plus odds on the round 2, round 3 KO. Yeah, man, that's about it for me.
All right. Next fight. Let's start getting moving on here. Edmund Golden Boy Shahbazyan, 12-4, 26, 6'2", 75-inch reach. He's fighting AJ Dobson, 7-2, 32, 6'1" with a 76-inch reach. The action on these two fighters, you got Shahbazyan anywhere from minus 200 to minus 215, which is disgusting, versus Dobson, who is plus 172 to plus 160. This guy dude, who didn't wrestle in high school?
Yeah, I mean, his wrestling is not very good though. That's the negative about it, but it doesn't matter about that matchup.
I keep losing track. Key, I just let you go first, right? All right, here, make picks. You're going first. Edmund Shahbazyan, Dobson. Do you think Edmund Shahbazyan is actually ever worth minus 200 when he quits if he doesn't get the finish early?
Yes, but first I want to address the comment, the chat. Yeah, Sayukub Kakramanov. Funny thing is, when I was on last time I was on Lean Picks Fights podcast, he was the guest. So I agree. I
like looking in a mirror,
but I got a couple inches on him. All right, I'm not 5'8". Okay, but anyway, back to this matchup. Yeah, I actually think that stylistically, it's a good matchup for Edmund. He's fought really good level of competition, and everyone says his durability shot. It's really not his durability. It's just his cardio, man. The guy, he just doesn't have it. I feel like he's one of those guys that works hard in the gym. He just can't sustain like a heavy pace. But honestly, like, he's had some tough matchups. I mean, Anthony Hernandez, that's like the worst matchup ever for him. Imavov can maintain a pace. He can grapple. Hermansson has good cardio, can grapple, and Brunson can grapple. AJ Dobson isn't the type of guy to set like a type of pace like these other fighters do. He's more of a kickboxer. He likes to kind of point fight. He's defensively sound himself. He has some power, but he's not like this crazy prolific heavy hitter. And I just think that Edmund's he's younger. He's the more skilled fighter here. He has better kicks. I think he's faster. He's the better wrestler. So I think that it's a good spot for Edmund. I get it though. You don't want to lay that minus 200 price tag. Hot take. I actually think that Edmund wins this fight by a decision. So,
wow. Okay, a decision. That's impressive. That's a wild ass. He's asking if you like McDonald's. Why is that an inside joke?
Probably because of the Mick picks. No, it's related to my last.
That makes sense. Key, you're up. What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I want to get to Edmund, but I don't think that Dobson's going to push a pace like the previous guys have. I think that Edmund's the more skilled guy here. I don't see a path. I bet Dobson at plus 121 last time out versus Tafa. And I don't see a wrestling path here for him either. We know Edmund's in a good gym. We know he's been sparring with Sean Strickland. I think that Edmund will look okay here, but minus 200 range is nasty work, in my opinion. I like McPick's bet or throw out idea with him winning by decision. I think if you look on some of the commercial books to drop later this week, you'll probably get some sneaky prices there.
Like that. That's an interesting one. I'll go next. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm biased. I have tried to give this guy a chance betting on him. I believe the first time I saw was his debut at MSG against yes, it was. It was maybe not. Wait. Trying to think. I thought the first time I saw him was his debut at MSG, but maybe that was against Brad Tavares for the Masvidal versus Diaz. I don't know. The guy constantly gets finished. He's one of those guys that I think personally, if he doesn't get the finish early, he just quits. I mean, you put him against half decent guys and he'll win. You put him against good guys, Brunson or Manson or Imavov, Anthony Hernandez, he'll lose. I'm not high on him. He wins the first round majority of the time. He doesn't really have it to win a third round, I don't think. So it really comes down to like round two, right? So I just don't. I'm not gonna bet it. I'm sure there's a way to bet it. McPicks gave a great way to bet it. Play it that way, but I wouldn't touch this fight. I think you just sit back and watch. Job, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I honestly don't have like this a super strong read on this fight. I can see a couple of different outcomes. Like Edmund, yeah, he's slowed down in fights. I don't think his cardio is the greatest, but he's still young. He's at a great camp with Addiction Couture, and he's more often than not losing to high level guy, and also more often than not he's losing to grapplers, like and people that can push a pace like Fluffy. Of course, he's gonna gas out against Fluffy. Like that was like that's what he does. In this fight, I feel like he's gonna like Dobson is decent. I also bet him in his last fight. I also bet his decision prop at plus 500. Yeah, he's a decent striker. I feel like he has decent wrestling, but he's not gonna like out wrestle bad. He's not gonna out wrestle Edmund. I don't think so. Probably gonna be a striking match. I feel Edmund is a better striker. I think he's more dangerous than AJ Dobson, and I think that AJ Dobson is durable. I think he has better cardio. So it's to me, it's probably going to be close. Like, I think Edmund is alive to finish him, but I'm not too sure if you finish him or you win a decision. So I'm not too confident. I think Edmund's going to win. I would not play minus 200 though. I'm not too in love with that, but I know the money line at some point was like around minus 170 or something. So it was decent because of the people that he lost to and the fact that he's a good fighter, and he's dangerous. I just don't feel too good about it. So I'm going to pick him to win, but I'm not too confident.
All right. Next fight, co-main event. What a wild co-main event. It's Carl Williams versus Justin Tafa. Carl Williams, he's 9-1. He's 34'6'3" with a 79-inch reach. He is fighting Justin Tafa, 7'3", 36 foot with 74 inches. I'm not sure if you guys saw the let me go do the odds quick. Minus 180 to minus 200 on Carl Williams. Tafa anywhere from plus 155 to plus 160. Did you guys see the video of him blaming pulling out the last fight because he had the middle seat on his flight over to the card? Did anyone see that?
No.
That was wild. Yeah, I saw that on one of his interviews was like, oh, a big guy like me, my shoulders for 15 hours were kind of crushed. My body was all weird. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm like 5'7". I can fit fine on a plane, but
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I just saw that earlier today.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, really, be a professional. And you sent your brother out there to get his leg chopped off. And I mean, we're not even going to talk about him having the sub and not cashing that big ticket for us. I'll go first. Carl Williams by pretty much any way he wants. I think this might be a little cheeky. Let me see the odds first before I say it's cheeky before I'm taking something that's a favorite. I think Williams is going to win by sub here just because, he's shown some skills in submissions before. If you want to talk about his wrestling, he's a top-tier wrestler. He's not one of those wrestlers that shoots for like the ankle, then rides it up to a single, and then gets a takedown. He is your typical blast double takedown artist. And like Justin Tafa's hips, sure, you can these guys, they fight the hips because they want to stand up because they're going to knock you out in the feet. I also think Tafa's live for a KO here. Don't get me wrong. But when you get blast doubled and he hits your hips, kind of like a football tackle, he's going to get him to the ground. And once I think he gets his back and subs him here. That's going to be my hot take for it. I'm going to take Carl Williams by sub. If you look at all the books, most books have him inside the distance plus 140. They have his KO plus 325. They have the submission plus 385. But if you go to DraftKings right now, it's plus 700. So you're getting a 400-point differential on that, and that's why you're going to take Williams by submission. Drav, you go next, and then we'll spin back around clockwise.
Yeah, you talk about his rapping. You think he has good submission, Williams? Do you know how many subs he has in his career?
I don't think he has any, right? But I don't think he has any. Maybe he has one.
Zero.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Go 1 second. Let me find the video. I think he just got his jiu-jitsu belt. I don't know where I saw this.
He also attempted a Kimura against Chase Sherman in the last fight.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that's
remember
what I'm
that.
saying. So like he's in the gym trying to learn jujitsu. I know that for a fact. I saw a video of him getting his, I don't want to say blue belt and be wrong and it'd be purple, but it's something like along those
The
lines.
guy's learning for sure. I mean, he's green, but he's learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think like if he's gonna get this guy down and ride him out like he does every other fight, why not take a shot at plus 700 for the sub if it's plus
Dude, it opened
300
up
everywhere
plus
else?
1100 on Bet Rivers. The sub.
Wait,
Oh shit! Now we're talking because I've seen some plus 400, but plus 1100, that's a different game.
Yep.
wait, where is that plus 1100?
It was on Bet Rivers. It got bet down to like plus 600.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was gonna say plus
Yeah.
700.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have wrestling success probably. My only thing that I kind of struggle with in this fight is we don't know shit about Tafa off his back. I tend to think that he's a fish, but we just don't really know. So I can't assume that he's bad, but I also can't assume that he's good. Nobody's really shooting on him in the UFC, but he's gonna be the bigger guy here. He's gonna have more power. He's gonna be more dangerous on the feet. But when you win by like first round knockout. So I think that's probably his path to victory. So if I were to play Tafa, I think the round one and the round one knockout at around plus 400 is decent. If not, I think Williams ITD or decision. I'm not too sure because he has not shown me to be a good finisher in the UFC. But also, like I said, maybe he gets on top of Tafa, and Tafa is just a fish. Because if we look at his brother, kind of. Like his brother's is not good on the ground, but yeah,
I think it's a whale, not a fish, bro. They're like 300 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, this Tafa brother is bigger, and I think he's more dangerous though. But yeah, man, I feel like it's kind of a weird fight, but yeah, William probably gets on top and finish him. But if not, if the fight stays standing, I think Tafa is live to knock him out early.
Definitely, yeah, I agree. Key, what are you thinking here? Do you think Carl Williams Tafa? You're muted.
Hold up. Good now.
Yeah, you good?
All right. I'm kind of surprised at the money line being so close. I'm gonna figure out a way to play Carl Williams here, whether that be through apps or whether that be on
Buy sub plus 700.
Yeah, on DK, that's pretty crazy. I'm gonna figure out a way. He's definitely the side. Tafa at plus 230 or better was probably a decent bet, but here, I think that you got to figure out Carl Williams. So I will definitely do so. I think sub is a good bet. I agree with that analysis that y'all gave earlier.
All right. Let's go on to our main event.
I don't think. MC, did you give your breakdown on this one?
Oh, sorry, dude. Yeah,
no,
go ahead.
All good.
Give your
I got you, bro. I got you.
I thought he gave out plus 1100, which was wild.
I commented on it.
Oh.
But yeah, really quick. I don't know if you guys remember the last time I was on here, we all had the Lima against Tafa, and that would have been a lock. And the fight got scrapped, and his little brother filled in, and we lost the line. I mean, we had him at like minus 130 or something. De Lima.
Yeah, that was annoying.
I grabbed him back at minus 180. That for the brother. I played him again.
And I ended up passing, but it would have been the same. It probably would have been the same result. But anyway, Williams. I agree with you guys. Williams is the side. He's a athletic fighter at the heavyweight division. He's reliant to attempt multiple takedowns. He has good cardio. Striking's not the best, but it's serviceable, and he's seemingly durable. He's never been knocked out. Like I said earlier, it looks a little bit green at times, but he always finds a way to win. Tafa, we know how he is, one-dimensional. He's a striker with big power, but he's had some really easy matchups lately. Tafa, he has 100% takedown defense on paper, but if you look who attempted to take him down, it was Carlos Felipe and Harry Hunsucker. They're both not grapplers, and they're both not in the UFC anymore. So that's pretty much a fluke. I did see his takedown defense tested on the regional scene. Didn't look good. The guy, he fought some terrible fighters on the regional scene. The guy was able to take him down like twice, and he did not look good off his back. So that's why I started looking at the sub prop. So yeah, I think that at some point, Williams is going to get him down, and I think he's due for a finish here. But I think submission's the way to go.
Why not? Why not go for it? Yeah, I mean, he's one of the guys that you can see get a belly button to the mat and then just crank it on a neck crank, cranking on a sub. You don't got to be a good submission artist to get one of these guys. Once you get
Exactly.
that sunked in and you've got full hip pressure on him, you just crank their back, he'll get it done. I don't know. Something tells me he's going to aim for a sub. It would be awesome. I just put 0.25 units on that. I wish I got plus 1,100. All right. Main event. Women's main event. Yo, if you go and look at Amanda Ribas's topology picture, let me know if you guys notice anything there. While you guys do that,
I exactly know what you're talking about.
Unbelievable. Amanda Ribas, 12-4, 35-3 to 66-inch reach, fighting Thug Rose Namajunas, 11-6, 31-5-5 with a 65-inch reach. Odds on these ladies, you can get Rose Namajunas anywhere from minus 205 to minus 225. You can get Ribas anywhere from plus 190 to plus 175. I'll go first. I'll make this quick. This is a Rose play. He's got her covered everywhere. Sure, she's losing to the best fighters in the world and beating the best fighters in the world, Rose. So this is just like a huge jump up in competition. We know Ribas is chinny. We know about the head kick. We know about the punches. Rose looked good with one hand against Manon Farrow, who we are a Manon Farrow podcast, very high on. People are talking about the cardio of Ribas, the cardio of Ribas. Give me a break, bro. I think Rose is probably going to knock this girl out. I'm waiting for a line on inside the distance. People are like, "Oh, it's going to be a decision. It's going to be a decision." I'm willing to bet Rose knocks her out, to be honest. Key, you go next just because it's a girls' fight, and I should have let the girl fight master go first. What do you think for this? Is you there, Kate?
Can y'all hear me good? I'm lagging a little bit. Okay. So I got Rose at minus 115 at the lowest point.
Crazy.
A lot of them minus quarter wave lag, minus 115, 20. That feels like stealing at this point, if I'm being honest. I guys are covered everywhere. Ribas does a lot of this shit with her hands the whole time. I don't think that she's going to keep that pace for 5 rounds. I did play Luana plus against her, getting her out of there in the first round last fight. And I had minus 3.5 spread at plus 200 against Rose last time out. So I have a pretty good read of both fighters here. I think there's a Rose spot through and through. I think that she has a massive step down in competition. I think that she's going to light her up on the feet. I think stopping to the Whitman not being in her corner thing, I expected that. It seems as if that was a pretty good out after the Esparza fight. I think that this is, I mean, she has the corner in the world and Pat Berry. What could go wrong here? So minus, I'm happy. I think that she should be around minus 250 minimum here.
All right, guys. So I'll break it down short because I don't think anyone could hear what Key said. Key beat the line real bad. We got Rose at minus 100, and Rose is just gonna beat her 6 ways to Sunday. It's gonna be no problem. Rose is lock of the card. Dravi, you go next, and we'll finish with my picks.
Yeah, I think Rose the side, but unfortunately, I didn't have the line that Key got. So yeah, I don't really want to get involved at like minus 210, minus 220 or whatever it is now, minus 205. But I feel like she should win. She should look good. She's way more durable. She has 5-round experience. Ribas doesn't. Ribas doesn't have a good chin. I think she's a good grappler. She has good cardio, good volume. But yeah, I don't really see her beating Rose. Rose is decent. Like she has good grappling herself. So yeah, man, I feel like she's going to be faster. She's going to be the better striker, way more technical and more durable. Over 5 rounds, you got to favor her. To your point, Peg, I've seen a shit ton of money came on the under and the ITD and everything. Maybe she just win a decision. That's possible. But yeah, I think over 5 rounds, she'd probably find a knockout at some point.
Yeah, she'll knock her ass out. McPicks, what do you got, bro?
And on Rose as well. I didn't get the early line like he did either, but I just think that there's a huge skill discrepancy here, and I think people are sleeping on Rose a little bit. Like you said, she literally jacked her finger up. That thing was all janky her pinky finger, and that happened early on in the first round, and it was still competitive. But Fioreau's a big flyweight, you know. Ribas usually fights at 115. They're both kind of moving up, but I think that Thug Rose is going to have the strength advantage. But really, the movement, the skill, the distance management, speed, and all like the angles that Rose works. I mean, she's like the best at working angles when it comes to the striking. I don't know if you guys looked on UFC stats, but Ribas somehow has a 63% striking defense.
Yeah, I know, that's surprising.
Who has 63? Ribas?
Ribas.
Yeah.
She does not move her head off the center line ever. I don't know how the fuck she has 63% striking defense. But
I guess it's got to be like maybe she's had 1 million strikes thrown at her, and she only eats 500 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up, Fight Talk? Anyway, the only way I tweeted out about this, I think the only way that Ribas wins this is by surviving early and somehow outworking Thug Rose to a decision. Because sometimes Rose can just kind of fight down to her opponent and fight close to a decision. But I just think that Ribas is seriously outmatched in regards to skill. And also, like, people are saying that, you know, oh, Ribas has a grappling advantage, she'll take her down. Dude, like, Rose is a really good grappler, and she's tough to hold down. Like, she's never really been, like, you know, maybe early on in her career, but recently, like, she's always out grappling her opponents. Even like Weili Zhang, like, took her down 5 times or something, but Thug Rose reversed her, you know, held her down and actually had more control time than Weili did. So, all right, we'll do. But anyway, yeah, I just think that Rose is going to finish her within 2 rounds. I think she's going to knock her out.
All right, dude, and it's so funny. Drav said that. I obviously slacked and didn't even look. I've been talking about Rose by KO since last week. I didn't look. Dude, they're giving out plus 110 for a KO.
Yeah, it's not good though. Like, I was expecting plus 200 or something.
You get plus 175 on Bet Online when it dropped. You can get plus 150 on Bet Rivers or Unibet. I mean, at those type of, I guess you get plus 140. I don't even take that. I mean, that's kind of bullshit. I don't know. I guess you could take a late finish, right? Let's play around with that. We look at Namajunas wins by KO in round 2 plus 700, round 3 plus 900, round 4 plus 1,000, round 5 plus 1,200. Dude, they're not giving us many. I mean, those are okay lines. They know. I mean, dude, it's self-explanatory. I'm glad I played Rose for 2 units at minus 180, just so you guys know. It's just now pretty much the writing's on the wall at that rate. They're not giving you the right thing. It's gonna be a KO. Yeah. Anyone else got anything different? Let's see if Key fixed his jank ass shit.
Yo, did y'all hear any of the breakdown?
I heard it. I was the only one who heard it.
It was
I summed it up
summarized
real well. You got to listen back to hear how I broke it down, but it's a lock. Crazy. Rose is a lock.
Yeah, regardless, minus 115 Rose is what I got. I think she has her covered everywhere. I don't think that Ribas had anything for her.
What do you think about the KO being plus 115 on all the books, but her money line being minus 200?
That's disgusting. I'm not even sure that she gets a KO. I think that she just styles on her for 5 rounds, but I think that this is an easy Rose spot.
And
all right,
do you guys think there's still value at minus 200 for Rose?
Yeah, I think good till minus 225.
I think good till minus 250.
Yeah, I mean, she's a good parlay leg if someone wants to do that for BTL Parlay. Let's just get right into that. Did any of you pick the Yes, we did. I picked him.
Also did.
Drav did. McPix did not. Key, what did you take for that one?
I haven't taken anything for that fight.
You said packs.
Yeah. So, but
we're riding.
Yeah. Peruvian MMA is in the come up, though. I gotta say, Peruvian MMA is on the
boxing is huge. Boxing and kickboxing is huge in that country.
So Daniel Marcos, right? Daniel Marcos. I got robbed you last time out. He was beating the shit out of Ari, right? He was beating the shit out of him.
Oh, I'll be betting him again, bro.
Minus 180 or something.
Yeah,
that was annoying.
I would take that.
There's another Peruvian dude that came off the Contender Series too. It looks real good. I don't think he fought in the UFC yet. Forgot his name. Though.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember his name though. Yeah,
we'll see.
I agree. Yeah. This is a
And Nick, if
Peruvian
you can
podcast.
go first, you can go first for your leg of the BTL parlay. Since you're the guest, we're gonna let you pick first.
Yeah, my pitch. You go first, bro. What are you thinking?
Let's And this is
Anything-
one where we combine all of them together, right? For
Yeah.
obviously a
Yeah,
parlay.
we all take a pick. We combine them all together and just see where
You
it goes.
can
We
go
hit last
over-
week. No pressure, but we hit last week's at a plus 400. But I think it was plus 200 because Battle got knocked out. It was plus 200.
Yeah. Oh yeah, battle, dude. That was annoying. Yeah, you can get over under or money line. So like whatever you feel good about, we're trying to cash it. We did cash it last time you were on the show, so let's try to do it again.
All right, I'm gonna go. Even though you guys disagree, I'm gonna go Padilla money line.
Okay.
All right, what's the
Okay.
price?
That's all right with me because then if my money line bet loses, I still have this to be like, all right, I still won somehow. All right, what odds you getting that at?
Minus 164 on the bet online.
Okay. Drav, what do you want?
I'm gonna take Yusuf Zalaal plus 104.
Zalaal plus 104. This one's gonna be fat. I'm taking Kurt Holobaugh plus 135.
Sheesh. And I guess he's gonna take Rose.
Mick Parkin.
Oh yeah, it's a parking podcast. All right, what's Nick parking at minus 140 still?
Oh shit, it's gonna be big, right, guys? It's gonna be a big
It's
one.
gonna be a fatty. If this one
Plus,
hits,
plus, okay, so let me do it again.
it's
Padilla
gotta be
minus,
plus 1,000 probably.
it's more than that. Okay, so first one is Padilla minus 164,
Yep.
Zalaal plus 104, Holobaugh plus 135, and then Mick Parkin minus 146. It gave you a clean plus 1,200.
All right, this will be the biggest one of the show ever.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I feel good about that one too, honestly. Would we
But-
play minus 146 for parking?
Minus 146, yeah. I just
Okay.
plugged that in right now.
Okay. Got it. All right. Cool. All right. Again, guys, that's Padilla minus 164, Zalaal plus 104, Holobaugh plus 135, Parkin minus 146. All right, guys, that's the show. I mean, that's the BTL parlay. Everyone wants to give their info and let the people know. Obviously, guys, like, subscribe. We appreciate it. We're here every week to help you guys out, make money. You follow BTL Parlay podcast. You do the parlay. You've always made money, and we've always done it for free. We love doing it. Likes, comments, subscribes. Always help us out. And like I said, if this gets to 100 subs and you commented on the video below, not in the comments here, comment on the video once we post it, I'll do a random number generator. I'll Venmo someone $50 if we hit 100 subs this video. We got McPicks. You go first. Give us some of your details. How do we find you? How do we follow you?
Yeah, sure. I'm mostly post on Twitter. It's at McPicks MMA. And I also have a subscription account to Dub Club. Basically, I've been doing pretty good this year so far. I'm up about 40 units at 26% return on investment, and I've been profitable on 22 of the last 26 UFC cards. I dropped a unit and a half last week, but I'm going to bounce back this week. So yeah, you get all my betting content at Dub Club. It's in my bio on my Twitter. I post live betting angles. I post long shot parlays, obviously all my regular bets, and then you also get access to the private Discord. So
awesome, man. Drav, go ahead.
Yeah, as always, guys. So it's Dravy__ on Twitter. You can find a link to my Dub Club. You can access to all my bets, all my breakdowns. You can join a free Telegram. And also, yeah, of course, you can subscribe to the BTL broadcast Twitter. We post daily stuff on that. I post the Subaru parlays. I didn't do it last week. I'm probably going to do it this week because there's a lot of fun fights. And yeah, man, I think we have a good card betting wise. A lot of closely line fights. Just if our reads are right, and we are lying on most of them. So let's hope we all crush it. And thanks for coming, McPick. Again, always fun to talk with you. And yeah, man. So let's hope we all crush the bookies again this weekend.
Key, go ahead. Plug yourself.
Yeah, key 3 picks. Apologize for the shitty Wi-Fi. But key 3 picks. Dub Club trial, free week in my bio right now. Got Discord.
You can come in, get live bets, DFS cores, prize picks, underdog fantasy, better, everything on books, all that good stuff. We got pretty good chat. So yeah, come in and have some fun with us. Like I said, hit that link in my bio and you get a free week trial.
Guys, 3 people buy 3-month subs to Key 3 Picks. He'll be able to afford internet for UFC 300 and moving forward. That's all we need is 3-month packages.
That's a good one.
Unlike the rest of the crew here, I did not sell my soul to the devil. My picks will always be free. They're in my Telegram, in my bio. I tweet out a few of them. Kind of stopped doing that after I was getting shit for tweeting lines that, weren't there. But if you're in the Telegram, you got those lines. I tell you the book. I tell you where to get them. I tell you where to get everything else. I'm just watching some March Madness right now. Big time in the U.S. for that, obviously. Again, Telegram, on Twitter. That's where I get most of my stuff. Again, guys, thanks for joining us. McPicks, we appreciate you coming in, bro. Huge guest. Love having you here, bro. We'll have you back again. Like, subscribe, comment, follow the Twitter. And we'll catch you guys in a few weeks. Peace. I'll catch you guys next week.